First of all, Ruben, thank you so much for having me. My full name is Puneet Singh Singhal, and I am from New Delhi, India. I have done my graduation in English literature, and then I have done my masters in international relations, and I was working in a bank called Royal Bank of Scotland in Delhi. And I, at that period of time when I was in the corporate, I realized that there is a lot of subtle discrimination that is there in the society against people who stammers, and I was observing it daily. So I realized I thought that it's high time that I should leave this job and look for some higher calling. So I started to gain some knowledge of working in social sector. I was volunteering for a lot of organizations called like Amnesty International, Association for Democratic Reforms, Action Aid India. I was actually fundraising in the headquarters of Adobe, and I was stammering as well, and I was trying to fundraise for the Kerala floods that happened in 2017. So it's always a very interesting thing to me to notice how people react when someone stammers. Like their expressions also change, and it really made me like why we behave in a certain way.
That's a great backstory, especially because I have a similar background as well in terms of the jobs that I had in the past and I'm in now. I also worked for RBS, but this was back in 2010 now, and I also had a few experiences there where people did not have the best reaction or best response when I was having kind of these pauses. But I just wanted to take it kind of a step further back and ask you about how it was growing up with the struggles with the speech and how that impacted your kind of school life and the impact on your family as well.
I had an abusive father, and for my growing years, I was physically and mentally abused and I would say exploited by him. He has his own issues which he was reflecting on my brother, on my mother, and on me, of course. And so up to 8 years of age, I didn't notice myself stammering, and even my mother said that you were not stammering up to that age of 8. And then when I used to be in this thing where I used to make pledge, like in Indian schools we pledge like we Indians are brothers and sisters, and we will be always maintain that brotherhood, and we will abide by the constitution and all of these things. So I used to recite that pledge in my school in the earlier age. But when it suddenly happened when I saw my father shouting and being really harsh on my mom, and then when I was pretty aggressive, very assertive as a kid. So I said that you cannot do this with my mom, and I think that time she slapped me, and there I believe that I started to stammer for the first time, as far as I can remember. And then school it was that was a lot of bullying, because kids actually mimic. Kids they don't have a bad intention, but they mimic. And I believe that that is their way to bring inclusion, to bring equality in the society, to mimic. But it's not, it was not good for my self-respect and my self-image. And I then I started to spend all of my time in a dark room. I started to hate maintaining eye contacts. I started to avoid socializing with my friends. I used to even play alone. I just stopped communicating, and I went into my shell.
Like, I'm sorry to hear that background about kind of your father and the abuse, because it isn't the type of thing that people actually speak about in open. So I think it's brave actually to be speaking about that and sharing that story. And you came through like the tough period, and you got that confidence. Do you think that the stutter actually played a part in it, in kind of the growth and the progress that you had afterwards?
I think, Ruben, it is very beautiful to look back, because I if my life started from this day today, and I'm looking back, like today is my first day, and I'm looking back into years. I'm so grateful for all of the experiences that I have got, because it has really made me a very self-aware person, where I anyone who was going through issues, who was going through bullying and domestic violence and poverty, I just connected instantly with this with that person. And it's just like I feel that this is the skill that I have learned over the period of time, to connect into people who are not able to express themselves the way they wished. And on this horizon we connected. Like, I have got so many friends, so many connections because of that. I was very sensitive that I do not turn into a bully, because the people who get bullied may turn into a bully one day. It's a high probability game. And so it was quite a bit of awareness and consciousness that was coming into me. And it's a skill, I would say. A lot of people say that it's a superpower, or it's a God gift or something. No, we acquire that, and through our hard work and through our experiences we gain that skill. And it's a to be grateful and to be aware, to be sensitive. It's a skill we can acquire by our experiences and constant practice. So I'm proud of my journey. I'm so it's magic for me. It's like some years back, when I was living in denial, I was like, just get me rid of this stammering and my life would be so good. The only thing that I have problem with is my stammer. It's or like just get want to rid of it. But now it's like it's a part of me, a very important part of me, and not my central identity, but a very cherished and valued component of my existence.
That's amazing to hear, especially because the stammer started actually from a source of pain. So I just wanted to ask you if you could pinpoint a specific turning point where things started to change?
It's a really good question, because right now I can think of many instances where I was getting this feeling, that enough is enough, and you cannot run away from something that is within you. You cannot run away from yourself. And so I can, like, when I was in class standard 10th, and we were in a very bad financial condition, and in order to support my education I have to work, and that was not I was not supposed to work legally, because before the age of 18th you are not supposed to indulge in any economic activity. But out of necessity, out of helplessness, I have to took up a job, and the job is to make people test a new juice that was there in the market. So I have to interact with people, and it was tough. It was really challenging, because you have to introduce yourself, you have to introduce the juice, the name, and interestingly, my name Puneet is not the word that I was comfortable with. So it's like Puneet. So there goes the confidence, and especially when girls were there, it's always tough for a teenager boy to actually have that confidence, like to stammer with confidence, because I always know that like, can I be confident and stammer at the same time? And for 10 years I was just thinking about this question, that is this possible? And it's not a paradox or contrary things to me for like having confidence and stammer at the same time. But there was no example. There was only me in my circle who was stammering, and I was thinking that there is something wrong. But I again am thankful that I have no choice but to get out and work, to get out and actually socialize with people, interact with them, and some of the people were really kind, and they will say that we can see your effort, we can see that you are trying, you are giving your best shot. So there were these kind of people as well, and there are some kind of people who were dismissive, who were like you don't stammer. There are like few fumbles here and there, but still you are fine. So there are a lot of people who will try to define our disabilities as well at times, and it is very, I would say, patronizing, dismissive. And yeah, we all have this internalized ableism where people's intentions are not bad, but they don't know how to react, and that's where the role of awareness comes. So all of these interactions and all of these instances, and then in 2017 I attended the Indian Stammering Association conference, and for first time I interacted with a lot of stammerers, and it was fun. It was liberating. There were a lot of practices, a lot of experiences sharing, and we went into Delhi Metro, and we were talking to different people that we are someone who stammers, and we would like to request you that if you see anyone stammering the next time, please be little more patient, listen to the person, and try to empathize with them. I think that exercise was a game changer for me, because I was so liberated. Like I was like, I'm still alive. Wow. I didn't die after that. So it was funny. It was spiritual for me. Like I say that what is meditation? Well, the meditation is just like when we are in the moment, and at that time I was in the moment. I was sense my breathing. I can sense the other people's eyes, their emotions, their expressions, and it was like opening up, as you said, it's really great in whatever form. If you can open up, it is the best thing that you can do with your stammer.
Did you enjoy that kind of a big change? Because just coming from that feeling of being alone and keeping all the stress inside and the awkwardness of the people around you, but then when you start to be open about it and get more comfortable having these blocks in front of people, did you feel that kind of a freedom, and did you cherish it a lot in the moment?
Ruben, I was flying. I was so light. I was flying. Amazing. And I was so excited for my life now, because I was looking forward to live my life in with a different perspective now. Like, I can go and express myself the way I want. There will be no hiding, no escaping, no coping mechanism, no technique. Like, I can just be myself, and it's like, seriously. But the next few days, I was so like light, and I was looking forward for every interaction, because I really like to talk. I enjoy talking with people. I like interacting with people, and now I can do what I like without being pressurized, without demeaning myself. So, oh God, it's the best thing that have ever happened with me.
For me, like the first time I met someone else who stuttered as well, I think I was 17 years old, and I attended a group session organized by my speech therapist. And up until that point, I genuinely thought that I was the only person who had it. There were a few people who appeared on TV at times, but because it was TV, like these people, they were fake to me. But in the actual world, I genuinely thought it was me in my town or city. But then I started to actually meet a few other people and gain their experiences. So with you, like, did you see any differences with the other people that you met? Did you see any kind of common shared experiences? And did you learn anything from those conversations?
There was a person who was stammering, and the stammer was severe, and he was from India, but he's right now is working in Australia, and he was saying that people are really good, people are really accepting, people are really patient with me, and I don't. Sometimes I forget that I stammer, and I'm like being bullied or judged on the basis of that. And I was like, seriously, there are some countries where people know how to react, and there are some good people, like good people in the sense that I'm not judging, but with whatever bullying experiences I have got, I think that this is from some other planet. These are people like angels, and they actually know how to be not judgmental about stammer. So this conversation really made me like, okay, let's research, let's go on the internet and see how different countries, how different cultures see stammering, and is there any better way which I can learn and try to do something similar in India, because people are not inherently bad, but they don't know what to do, and they just need a kind of nudge, a kind of a little advices here and there, little tips, and then the life of people with stammer can change. And if we are listened to, like it will be a better world, because a whole new perspective will be added uh, to our human consciousness, because we are missing up on a lot of point of views, and so it's better for both the sides. It's not that we are just receiving help, we are just we are just expecting the world to be a little kinder, supportive, and we are not offering any value. It works both way. And there was another man who was really experienced in stammering, and he said that, like, it's you can own your stammer, you can be more control of it, and just don't try to hide it or try to be in control. Just let it flow. And this was like some other kind of people, some other kind of insights for me. And as a really young boy, there were a lot of young boys who was coming there in the hope that they will be fixed, they will be cured, they will be treated. I was one of them. And and happily, fortunately, by the end of third day, I was not thinking that way, and I never go back to that thinking pattern again, that I want to fix my stammering. Now I think that I can own my stammering. I can be confident and stammer at the same point of time, because people compliment me that you are a wonderful communicator despite of your stammering. And despite is a word that I hate in this context, because what is despite? we can be good in expressing ourselves, and we can stammer as well. The same goes for any kind of speech disability, be it lisping, be it cluttering, be anything. These two things can coexist.
That's a great point, because it comes back to the problem where people, they will judge our communication skills firstly by the level of struggle we are experiencing with our speech, and we will be praised when we are fluent, and it does feed into those bad thoughts that stuttering is bad, because that is kind of how we were programmed for the bulk of our childhood. So that's why it's important that we continue to educate people that stuttering, it is not bad or good, it's just different. It's just how we sound. It takes a bit longer for us to express ourselves at times. So by stuttering, we can teach people patience and empathy as well. My family background is Tamil. So that is our mother tongue. And Tamil is a very fast language. Do you experience a bit more struggle with the speech if you are speaking English, or if you're speaking with a mother tongue?
First of all, I would like to say that I have a lot of friends from the Tamil Nadu, and it's like, seriously, it's a very very fast language. And even if I try to learn this language, like okay, I will talk slowly, because the tongue is twisting either way, and you are also very fast as well. So it's interesting, and it's lovely to hear as well, and a very ancient language with the great culture. And yeah, coming back to this, I face more blocks in English. Hindi is like, I'm much more comfortable in Hindi, and the pace, like, it's a little softer language as well. When I was learning French, it was tough, so I have to left, because French is like whole different trajectory and whole different speaking patterns are utilized. So I have to skip, and now I'm trying to learn German. So let's see how it goes. And um, but Hindi is like my I'm very used to this language. Maybe Punjabi as well up to an extent. All these like the languages that comes from northern part of India is comparatively very easier for me because the way it is pronounced, the pace and the tone, I'm pretty much accustomed to that. And but I have done my all my education in English. I'm a graduate in English literature, and I always have
Amazing.
this guilt. I always have this guilt that I was not as fluent as my colleagues in English, even though I was very good in writing and reading. But when it comes to speaking and speaking the heart out in this like conversational English, I was not as good because I was not practicing enough. Like now I talk to a lot of people from UK, US, Europe. So I'm improving now on this aspect as well. And it's all about getting used to the language, and even if you're making grammatical mistakes, it's fine as long as you are putting across your idea, your emotion, your feeling, and thing. Yeah.
I have to say that that's really impressive because of all of the languages um, that you have there. For me, I can really just speak English because when my parents were trying to teach me Tamil as a kid, the speech therapist actually advised them to just focus on the English because trying to teach kind of the two languages, that may have been confusing things. And because of the pace of Tamil as well, and the length of some of the words, and just it's a bit crazy, we just simplified and focused only on English. So it's a shame. I can say kind of a few basic things and all the swear words. From your interactions with all these different people in different countries, have you seen different trends?
When I was studying English literature, uh, I I was looking for some history of stammering and how the literature finds stammering, because it's a like it's a taboo. It's a taboo. It was a taboo. And so in Victorian era, I came to know that they were associating stammering with same sex intimacy, that that being gay is socially forbidden, and stammering is a physical impediment. So they kind of equating these two phenomena. And some authors were one step ahead. They were saying that the man who stammers and the men who are gay are not man enough. They are
Crazy.
yeah. So yeah, it was very shocking for me as well, and I was sharing it with a lot of my gay friends, that that look at this. We are equal. so so yeah, it was interesting to notice. And then I was in India. We talk about Hinduism and the Buddhist beliefs, and they are a concept of past life karma, that if you have done something wrong, some sins in your previous life, you are destined to actually face certain consequences. And stammering and other kind of disabilities is a consequence, is a result of your karma. And a lot of Indian religions believe in this concept. So this is like the what I was thinking and observing in my surroundings. And talking about UK, I think UK is the best place on this planet right now in terms of embracing diversity. There are a lot of good organizations working for the LGBTQI cause, disability cause, racism, all of these things. They are like, they're not perfect, but I would say that they are really having a conversation going, and it's great. It is a great step to be in, because in India we are not talking about certain uh, issues. We are not. I have never seen, never heard any political party talking about disability, talking about making our society, making our infrastructure more accessible. And this is what I wanted to do through my organization, that get the conversation going and build this narrative that we are there. We are maybe like we are 20 to 25% of 1.4 billion people, and it's a huge thing, and still we are being neglected, and someone else like are taking decisions on our behalf. This is like what I came to know, that nothing about us without us. And it's like so many models of disability are there, and we and in to be honest, that in India we are just following the charity model, where someone else is taking the leadership, and we are not listened to. We are not even a stakeholder in this belief, and all these like famous people with disabilities in India are from a privileged background. You will not see anyone coming up from a marginalized caste community, or maybe from slum. So like when I'm backing myself up, because I think I can be the one who is coming from a slum, from not so privileged caste background, financial status. So I think it is my duty to be on the forefront of this change, and I'm getting a lot of support from foreigners, not that much from the high caste Indians yet. So it's a bit of bitterness for me at this point of time, because as long as I'm getting this recognition from white people, we Indians have this tendency, if the recognition and the feedback is coming from the white skin, now Indians are giving me that acknowledgement that okay, you are doing great work, and I do not like that to be honest, but I'm using this unconscious bias to my advantage, because I have to make change. Even if I have to use these behavioral science or whatever it is, like biases and all of these things, because now I like because UK, US, there are a lot of supporters from UK, US, Europe, and almost all my donations have been there from these countries, and it is been a very good journey, and I'm so much looking forward to learn from UK, because Stammer is doing great work. They have been very supportive. There are a lot of good friends in the Stammering community along with you, who has been really doing good, and giving me ideas to actually replicate here in India. So yeah, thank you so much.
That is the beauty of kind of these things, because it's all about trying to share and like inspire each other, right? So in kind of for the last parts of this call, I thought it would be a good chance just for you to speak about SSS Start, the way it started actually, and the impact that has had so far.
I was thinking of a very playful name, a very comical name, and I was thinking like I want to make a new beginning, a new start. That I know that a new start in terms of disability inclusion in India, because there are a lot of good, fantastic organizations that are working already, but they have a very mechanical and very top-down approach. And I believe that if the problem lies in a community, the solution should also come from the community. It is always a good idea to have someone who is leading, who have a very good lived experience. So I think like start, and then how a person with stammering will pronounce this word, will say this word start. So this is how the name was formed, and it's been a great journey so far. Uh, I was the first Indian to get funding from Awesome Foundation, which is in United States, and like in some $1,000, what we have achieved is like we have 60 kids. They all do not stammer. They have other kind of disabilities, and if they don't have disabilities, they all are from marginalized caste, and these are kids just like me from slum. So it's a very diverse bunch of participants. We conduct workshops on issues like, on topics like listening, and we celebrated I Love to Listen Day on 16th of May, and it was a brilliant day, because it was kids were really curious about like what is special in listening. Like they were asking some like really like they asked like blunt questions, and which we didn't ask as an adult because we wanted to sound smart. So they were asking like really honest and frank questions to the founder of I Love to Listen Day, and she has done a lot of good work in the field of listening. And she was asking with a lot of she was answering with a lot of precise experience, and she said that listening is the best gift that you can give it to anyone, because you are giving your effort, your attention, and you're offering yourself to the other person. What else do you expect? So it was a kind of surreal for me. It was like, wow, all these kids, and I was amazed by this response. And now we all know that we are all learning together. And what I appreciate about these kids, like they don't see me just as a person with stammering, the way I don't see them, that they are just the kids from slum in India, because there are a lot of international organizations that come, that make videos of us, and it's like promoting and advertising our poverty, our living conditions. It's like I say always, like we are much more than our poverty, we are much more than our disability, we are much more than you think.
So the last question is, so this one it's a bit tricky. I'm going to put you on the spot, but if I had a special mic and the camera was broadcasting to the entire world, what is the message that you'd share with that opportunity?
Oh, Ruben, we talk about diversity all the time, and we are missing up on one aspect of diversity in the form of speech, in the form of expression, which is stammering. And we can make our society more rich and more complex, beautifully complex, and full of full of people who have ideas, who have something to offer. But you need to be open. You need to keep your heart and keep your ears open for that. And I promise that if we are given that opportunity to speak, we will be adding up the value. And certainly stammering is not anything that is negative, that is bad. And we are humans, and if we embrace this kind of diversity, because diversity is not in, complete. Like we give a lot of emphasis on racial equity, on the sexual orientation of the people, on certain kind of disabilities which are having more visibility and representation in the social and political realm. And there are a lot of things that are not given the proportional representation and proportional visibility yet, and stammering is one of them. So I would like to request that we all can make this society more inclusive in real sense, if the aspects of stammering and other speech disabilities are also included. Talking about India, stammering is not even in the list of disabilities by the state. So we are only laughed upon, where we are only mocked and bullied, and not given the benefits of what we not benefit, but like what we say, the equal platform to thrive and to achieve success in our lives. So this is my message to the world, that we are missing up on a lot of things, and it's an opportunity on every other International Stuttering Awareness Day to listen to us and to bless this world with a new kind of diversity.
I had a great time actually speaking about kind of your background and all the work and all of the experiences that you've had. And I'm excited to actually see kind of the future and the growth of the diversity movement. Thank you for sharing with me the background of all the work and your personal journey as well.